The fact that the Chiefs has gotten 4 of their 5 previous opponents to get a red card says something about the system that we are playing. Because teams don't just get a red card when they play against you, but they must do something wrong in order for them to get a red card. And you check all of those red cards that the teams that were playing against got, there was nothing questionable about them. Everything was clear and everything was obvious. So that has to say something, Uguti. We are pretty good when it comes to catching teams ngama counter and getting them in situations where they are not expecting us to strike. As such, that's a good thing. However, after being 1 man up, we then just relax, which is this thing that I don't understand, because currently we are fighting a goal difference thing with the Orlando Pirates. The Orlando Pirates have a superior goal difference because when they get chances, they score them, obviously, not against the Chiefs. Anyways, that's besides the point. The point is, today's match could have been much better, and we'll talk about other things as well that were in that game in this video. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I'm your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs, Khosi Football Club. And we are reacting, we're analyzing the Kaizer Chiefs versus Richards Bay game in the DSTV Premiership. Now, we'll start with our defense, obviously. Our defense looked much more solid. I see the fact that Ungezana is on the thumbnail and Ungezana scored the goal, but when it came to being a defender as well, he was much better as Ikemiak is improving game by game, which just goes to show Guti maybe we're too quick to judge Ungezana and put him on the side and start booing him. That was just a stupid thing. But Ungezana, no, not Dove, their partnership is becoming solid and is proven to be solid in previous games. I will also say Udove and I, as much as he's solid, just need to be less casual, because sometimes those casual mistakes or things can cause a team, because we saw Ibola like being intercepted. Luckily, we were able to recover and get the ball back. But those mistakes, he made such mistakes twice in this game. So we just need to be less casual going forward. And I'm a fullbacks too, which was Uhlante and Okweneka. They did, so defense overall was solid, because Richards Bay at times really did look like they could score a goal at any time. And the fact that we stood the test, that's a testament to how well our defense was organized today. And then we move on to our midfielders A2, and Ustebe works really, really hard. And in order to help us, the team, play from the back, I saw Gutumat and Ustebe, they are continuing this thing of dropping between the defenders, and then that allows our fullbacks to go up, and then they collect the ball and build from the back. And in that way, we are minimizing the number of mistakes that we can commit based on the defensive errors, because I'm a defenders A2. Ayazi amashame ukuba on the ball, but they are not as comfortable. So the fact that Ustebe or Mat drops in between them, then that allows Udove to go wide, and then Ungezana to go wide as well. So that even if they make a mistake, they are like on the side, not centrally where the defenders or the opposition can attack and score. But in the midfield, we're solid. And what I liked today about our midfielders is that, especially Ustebe, and even when Ohadebe came on, we were able to pick more accurate passes. We'll talk about Tutoli later on in the game, because he's a forward, and we're going to talk about forwards in a second. But we should talk about how many passes that were successful, the passes that were able to get in behind the defense at Richards Bay. And I will say this, I think it wasn't wise for Richards Bay to start to try and leave spaces behind for Chiefs, because the coach Wabo says before the game they knew Guti Chiefs were going to try and exploit the space. So Guti, this team has pace and they're going to try and exploit the space. Yet you play a semi-high line. It didn't make sense, but Guatina didn't exploit that. But the good chances that we had came from that. Even the red card came because the defenders couldn't deal with the ball, and then keeper tried to rush out and he made a mistake, and then he got a red card, which was kind of a turning point in a game, because after that then the Chiefs took the foot off the pedal. And I like the fact that Uzwane came out and said Uguti, like he saw Uguti the team took their foot off the pedal, and we played well. He didn't say those kind of things. He was more like, we took the foot off the pedal, and this was our chance to score more goals, which we didn't do. So it just tells you, Guti, we can say all these things, Abantu can say these things about Zwane being clueless and stuff like that, but game plan yakhe is always been Guti, we put opponents under pressure, but then our players time and time again they just drop off for whatever reason, and as a result in some games we end up losing, and in today's game that didn't happen. Before I go to the forwards, guys, please do like the video. It really helps me to reach more people like you. So by liking the video, like, just, it's not much of a commitment, just like, yes, thank you so much. Forwards, my forwards that were making better runs, obviously, except to Caleb. Yazi uKaleb bafethu mina angimazi ebholeni angifuni ukuthi sibe technical ngevideo, but kuyazi ukuthi kunama spaces athile ebholeni. If there is one player on the space, you must move to another space. uKaleb will stop in the space because eChiefs, what they are trying to do is confuse the opponents by having these constant movements. Ubona umuntu esengale kuyiwinger, and then all of a sudden uKunika is inverting, uKunika is out wide, someone else is running in behind. All the team, everyone in the team is doing that constant movement to make sure the team that we're playing against cannot say, oh, Caleb will be here. There was a time twice he almost clashed with two different players by Chiefs. There was a time when we were wide, or he was making the same run as Umtu. There was a time through the middle, he was making the same run as Uhadebe at the time. And I'm like, why does he not know Uguti Yena as a striker especially? Once the ball goes wide, there is one place that he's expected to be on. Basically, he has height that requires him to be in the box. Also, he's a striker. He's supposed to be our poacher who's in the box waiting for anything that comes into the box to happen. But even in the box, the chances that he missed were because of the fact that he wasn't well positioned, and because of that he was missing chances. So Caleb mina vele iteam yonke ngadlala yonke, but nje yena uvela kuphoxa. Noma nje I forgot to talk about him again, this thing of losing ibola and poor passing. Guys, Mati no Caleb, but sokhuluma more about that kuma player ratings. Check that out tomorrow. I will say ukuthi sakhuluma ngama forward, Dolly was much better. And what I didn't know, statistically, Dolly has created more chances for Kaizer Chiefs than any other player with Chiefs this season. So if you're wondering why he's playing, it's not because he's Zwane's favorite. Apparently, it's because ama stats they are saying he has created more chances, 42 to be exact, before the game. And the next player after him is actually Dupree with, guess, 21. I was shocked when I heard that. Wow, Udol is creating a lot of chances, but he only has 4 assists the entire season. That says a lot about how creative we are as the team, right? Ngizokhuluma ngomuntu which was unfortunate ukuthi got injured, but he's technically not our forward, he's our attacking midfielder. But today there wasn't much like ukuthi abantu bazothi he was showboating. No, he played just well, and ama passes akhe, if he was playing with a smart striker, Ngabi Chiefs again got more chances, but he kept on finding players. No stable today. There was something special that they were doing with those passes, and obviously against teams that sit deep we might have a problem, because we saw Guti the moment they got a red card, they initially didn't stop attacking us, but then they realized there was a space behind the defense, so they sat deep, and then we just kept on playing the ball in front of them, which wasn't helpful to anyone whatsoever. As such, we ended up just relaxing, and then they would win the ball occasionally and start attacking us, which is not ideal really, because in another game you get a team that will score a goal and it's 1-1, and then they defend for their lives. Now you are desperately attacking them, and then they get another counter, they win a game, you end up losing. What happened against the Arrows? So I think we should really work harder in terms of trying to kill off our games, as Uzwane did say. With the goal, good delivery from Umtu again. Umandla was saying this thing before the game. Udol is failing to clear the first post. Even when he got the corners that he got, he still failed to make the proper deliveries into the box. So Udol needs to practice that. But otherwise, I will say this: Udol overall today, it's probably one of the better performances that he has had, because whichever pass that he played, which wasn't a set piece, they seem to be like accurate, maybe 90% accuracy, I don't know, but a lot of them I saw them going from him to the player, but not set pieces. And the other thing is that Uzwane today, he did make early changes ish. Usael is not available in the next game. I feel like Bimenyimana should have been the first one to come out. But I think Usael was subbed because Uzwane feared Uguti might get a red card because of the fact that Usael is aggressive. And we saw the tackle that he made against the Pirate, who was supposed to get a red card even then, which he didn't. But even today, he gets aggressive at times because he's desperate again to prove himself. So I think Uzwane, as much as I was like Umkipelan, but it dawned on me Uguti, he is probably avoiding him getting a red card. And then Uduba came on the 70th minute after the fans had started booing Caleb. Uzwane should have taken out Caleb much earlier in the game, because the longer you leave Caleb in the match, the more desperate it becomes, and the more desperate it becomes, the more mistakes he will make, and the more fans will boo him, and the more confidence he will lose. And the more he loses confidence, the worse he gets. Comes back again, the same process repeats itself. So don't just play Caleb for 60, 70 minutes. Mkhiphe ku-early halftime, mkhiphe if it's not working, because you don't want him losing confidence, being booed by fans. It's better being just subbed by the coach rather than being booed by the fans and then sort of being forced out by fans doing this. That's not a good picture on any player, and he knows the pressure that comes with playing for Chiefs by now. And I don't think he will be wishing to play the same game that he played today, because yeah. And in Indaba yokuba slow, we are slow when we're playing against a team that is solid, which is why I thought, by the way, Uzwane made a good decision by bringing on Hadebe, because again he's able to find passes, he's also comfortable on the ball. Mahla, it's the same thing. Uzwane, I think Uzwane should have come on not 6 or 8 minutes, right? Because we were seeing eRichardsbay, they were much deeper and they were trying to exploit us in counter, which Ongezana dealt with really well. But if those players were brought on much earlier, then we would have found something, because all these players know how to rotate the ball, know how to keep the ball so we don't lose the ball as much, and also they will know how to pick the right passes. Or Dubana, if he had come on earlier, he did miss 2 good chances now, but again, ngeke that much ukuthi hey akahamba yofa, no, I won't say that, but I will say ukuthi Usail not Duba are the 2 players that I feel like they are now under massive pressure. Now Caleb, but Caleb has kind of been given a lot of chances. Uduba is given a short time to try and prove himself, and that's getting to his head. And Usail is the same thing that's happening to him at this point. Uguti, they are just trying too much, and because of that, they are actually damaging themselves. So I think in today's game, once again, plan A was good enough, but when the team got a red card, then we just became relaxed, which was not a really good thing to see. Uguti, we're going to fail to score against a team that was that open at the back, and you tell me Uguti that's Zwane's fault. Ekbeni clear Uguti, the system that Zwane set up was in such a way that eRichardsbay is basically overwhelmed, and they were overwhelmed. But the thing is, we need to start scoring more goals. What did you think of the match? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next video. Share it everywhere, and until next time, remember, Khosi, I'll play no more.